Hello and welcome to Pongified CEDH. We have a very special episode for you all today. Our sponsor, Le Coin du Jeu, hosted a CEDH tourney last weekend, and today we'll be showing you the semi-final and final game of that tourney. Buckle up. You can find the tournament results as well as the deck lists in the description, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to write us a comment. Before we get into gameplay, I have a very exciting announcement. We have noticed a major uptick in our subscriptions and our views, and we want to thank all of you who are watching at home. In collaboration with Le Coin du Jeu, we are doing a giveaway raffle. All you need to do to participate is to subscribe to the channel and to follow the link to Facebook in the description of this video and like the post. And apologies, but you do need to be in Canada to participate. This is a level up raffle, which means that for every 10 likes on that post, we are going to increase the prize pool. This is going on until August 12th. Every level includes at minimum an MH3 booster pack, but some of the giveaways are a lot more exciting. For example, playsets of foil custom Pongified tokens with art from Gabriel Morisseau, Make It Shine sleeves from Play the Game. At 18, a Ristic study, just for fun out of our own collection. And at 36, that is when we'll have the whole box of MH3. So again, we're very grateful for you watching. Please like and subscribe, and maybe you can get some fun free stuff out of it. We are also very grateful for our sponsor, Le Coin du Jeu. You can still use the code PONGIFIED10 to get 10% off your order. Now let's show you some gameplay. We'll be starting off with the semi-final. In first place, Jérôme will be playing Akiri Thrasios. In second, Fred with Rog Silas. Next will be Joël playing Atraxa. And last we have Charles playing Thrasios Dargo. Jérôme is keeping a hand of Endurance, Sea of Clouds, Green Sun Zenith, Manavolt, Cavern of Souls, Esper Sentinel, and Misty Rainforest. Fred is keeping a hand of Bloodstained Mire, Mox Amber, Wheel of Fortune, Luxury Suite, Lion's Eye Diamond, Thassa's Oracle, and Jessica's Will. Joël is keeping the One Ring, Culling Ritual, Invasion of Ikoria, Talisman of Curiosity, Gemstone Caverns, Scrubland, and has London Mulligan and Orcish Bowmaster. Charles is keeping a Verdant Catacombs, Talisman of Curiosity, Arcane Signet, Ragavan, Snap, Ancient Tomb, and has London and Otawara. Let's get into it. Before the game begins, Joël takes the pre-game action of playing Gemstone Caverns, exiling Invasion of Ikoria. Jérôme starts us off by playing a Cavern of Souls, naming humans, and playing an uncounterable Esper Sentinel and passing to Fred. Fred casts his commander Rograk, plays a Bloodstained Mire, cracks that for an Underground Sea, casts a Mox Amber, does not pay for Esper, and then passes over to Joël. Joël draws a card, plays a Scrubland for turn, and uses it to cast a Talisman of Hierarchy, again not paying for the Esper Sentinel. Charles draws, plays an Ancient Tomb, uses that to cast Arcane Signet, and follows up with a Ragavan, and of course that Arcane Signet also triggers the Esper and cannot be paid for. Jérôme begins his second turn by playing a Misty Rainforest and cracking that for a Tundra, uses the Cavern of Souls to cast a Manavolt, and then passes over to Fred. Fred draws, plays a Luxury Suite as his land for turn, and pays 3 to cast a Jessica's Will with both modes, targeting Jérôme and not paying for Esper. Jérôme attempts to Flusterstorm this, having 2 copies of the Flusterstorm. Fred responds with Mental Misstep, targeting one of the copies of Flusterstorm, and then a Deflecting Swat, changing the other Flusterstorm's target to Deflecting Swat itself. I believe this is a misplay because I think he could have used one Flusterstorm to counter the other Flusterstorm and saved the Mental Misstep, but that's a rules question for somebody else. Nonetheless, Jessica's will resolve, exiling Defense Grid, Misty Rainforest, and Swansong. Fred will then play a Lion's Eye Diamond and use that floating red mana to cast a Wheel of Fortune. Joël will respond with an Enlightened Tutor, triggering Esper Sentinel. Fred will crack the Lion's Eye Diamond and cast the Swansong exiled with Jessica's Will to counter the Enlightened Tutor, and Wheel of Fortune is back on the stack. In response, Jérôme will actually pitch a Green Sun Zenith to Endurance to force Fred to shuffle his graveyard under his library, and then we resolve the wheel. Everybody draws a fresh 7, after which Fred will cast a Mystic Remora, and then pass turn. Joël untaps, and draws and moves to his main phase, casts a Talisman of Curiosity, triggering the fish and the fish stick, pays for neither, cracks the polluted delta for an underground sea, and then for 3 casts Praetor's Grasp targeting Charles. With no responses, Charles has to give his deck over to Joël, who searches for a mystery card, then has to give it back to Charles for the fun part of shuffling it. Charles will untap, draw, wonder if, maybe that card stolen from him was what he should have been drawing at that time. Attack Fred with Ragavan, create the treasure, exile a land off the top, play a Boseiju for turn, and then cast a Relic of Legends, triggering the fish and fish stick, paying for neither, and then following that up with his Commander Thrasios. Jérôme will draw, play a Temple Garden, shock it in, and then for 2, cast a Neoform, sacrificing his very loyal Esper Sentinel, who has drawn him many a card. He will, of course, get with that a Dockside Extortionist. The table tries to convince Charles to sack his treasure, but he will not. This means Jérôme is going to get 6 treasures out of this. He will then follow up and cast an Invasion of Ikoria at X equals 4. This triggers Mystic Remora. Fred draws yet another card. Charles decides that Jérôme doesn't have enough treasures and makes him an offer you can't refuse. Jérôme, however, will follow that up with a Veil of Summer. Now, what's interesting about the interaction here is not only will Invasion of Ikoria go uncountered, not only will Jérôme draw a card, but this doesn't make an offer you can't refuse fizzle, so Jérôme actually just does get more treasures out of it. Great interaction. So, we are back to Invasion of Ikoria on the stack. Of course, Jérôme will be getting, you could guess, an Emil at this point. With the Dockside count being higher than 4, he can blink that Emil over and over. He puts in the Mana Crypt just to make sure that he's able to get 2 interactions at the same time. Charles cracks his treasure. What happens next is Jérôme is able to make infinite treasures, infinite mana. He is then able to do basically anything he wants, but he plays this out very safely. He casts Akiri, he casts Thrasios, Eternal Witness. He gets a Teferi out of his graveyard. He casts that Teferi just in case somebody had interaction still and was just waiting for, I guess, way too late to use it. What he'll then do is start using Thrasios to basically draw his whole deck, put all of his things out. He will Pyroblast and kill all the blockers, and of course he will draw until he gets Finale of Devastation and cast that for X equals 100 or any number higher than 40 and attack everybody with 2 creatures, getting him the win. Congrats Jérôme, this secures him a place in the final, which is the next game we'll get into right now. Now, something fun to mention is Le Coin du Jeu has a very unique prize structure. All of the entry fees, which is over $900 for this event, goes to the final pod. So split 1/6 to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th player, and half of it will go to the winner. Let me introduce the people who are playing in the final today. We have Charles playing Dargo Thrasios. We then have Jérôme, who we just saw win with Akiri and Thrasios. We have Julie, who's playing Slimefoot and Squee. And we have Maxime, who is playing Sisse. Charles is keeping a Flooded Strand, Arid Mesa, Training Grounds, Heuristic Study, and has London mulliganed a whopping 3 cards, which were Phyrexian Metamorph, Noxious Revival, and Birthing Pod. Jérôme has kept Baron, Master Wizard, Finale of Devastation, Volcanic Island, Forbidden Orchard, Arcane Signet, Chrome Mox, and has London mulliganed a Chain of Vapor. Julia has kept a Misty Rainforest, Pyroblast, Buried Alive, City of Brass, Toxic Deluge, Demonic Tutor, and Vampiric Tutor. And Max has kept an Esper Sentinel, Flush Duplicate, Agatha's Soul Cauldron, Worldly Tutor, Enlightened Tutor, and Scalding Tarn and Command Tower. Let's let the finale begin. Charles will start us off by playing a Flooded Strand, cracking it, and then casting a Training Grounds. Jérôme will then cast with an Ancient Tomb and Arcane Signet, pass over to Julie, who plays a Misty Rainforest, cracks it for a Bayou, passes. Max will draw, play a Command Tower, cast an Esper Sentinel. Julie will respond with a Vampiric Tutor just to deny the draw. And then we will go back to Charles for his 2nd turn. In this turn, he will crack his Arid Mesa for a volcanic island and use that to play his commander Thrasios. Jerome will draw, play his own volcanic island, and cast a Blind Obedience, paying for the Esper Sentinel. Julie draws, plays a City of Brass, and then casts a Dockside Extortionist, which is so fun. Despite the Blind Obedience, I guess she's storing those treasures for next turn. 4 treasures come in tapped. Max will draw, play a Scalding Tarn, crack it for a tropical island, and what do you know? Play a Flesh Duplicate, which will come in as a copy of Dockside. This means that while Max will also get tapped treasures, Julie is not able to sacrifice any of them in time, so he'll get 7 treasures. Charles will untap, draw, and unfortunately not do anything this turn. Jerome will play a Forbidden Orchard for 4 mana, cast a Finale of Devastation, X equals 2, and you may already have an inkling of what's about to go down. He will pay for the Esper Sentinel, and he will put in his very own Dockside. What's interesting is Blind Obedience does not mean that his treasures come in tapped, but it means that everybody else's treasures cannot be cracked in response, so he gets the full 13 treasures here. He can cast Thrasios, he can cast Baron Master Wizard, and of course, with Dockside count being so high, this is a clear combo on board. Charles tries to activate Thrasios, but then simply top decks a Brain Freeze, which does not really help here. So Jerome demonstrates a loop where he's basically going to pay 2, sacrifice a treasure, return Dockside to his hand, and then recast Dockside, and then pay the extort cost on Blind Obedience, draining everybody for 1. And then when Dockside comes in, of course, make a whole bunch more treasures and then repeat the loop from there. And this is a very simple way to drain everybody's life until 0. Very clever win for Jerome. Congratulations to him. Congratulations on winning the big prize and continuously being a great player in the Montreal scene. Want to give a huge thank you to all the players today, all the players who joined us for that tourney, all the players in the Montreal area who keep the community so alive. A special thank you to Francis and Max, who run the tourney at the Coin du Jeu every quarter. And of course, a big thank you to Le Coin du Jeu for sponsoring us and helping us do this big giveaway. Remember, all you need to do is subscribe to our channel, like the Facebook post, and have a Canadian address. Sorry to all of our fans in the US. But that is all you need to be part of the raffle. Thank you so much and have a great day.